I like modern Mustang. I get modern Mustang. And the V8 version has been a big hit with the 90% of Aussie muscle car buyers who have got Mustang. Then Ford felt compelled to meddle with a good thing. Quite a lot. So is this new facelifted version more muscle for your money? That's what we're here to find out. But if first impressions are anything to go by, you could be disappointed. Oh dear, what have Ford's designers done to the Mustang's face? Gone is the prominent signature snout and sinister upturned headlights of the old car. Instead, you get this bluff face, allegedly inspired by Ford's racing heritage, and these LED headlights, which are apparently modelled from eagle's eyes. Which leaves this horse with bird's eyes looking a bit like a sad fish from the front end. That magnificent power bulge that used to be in the line of sight from behind the wheel is gone. Instead, you get this flatter bonnet and these boy racer air vents. But the styling is a little bit more convincing when you...
Nice Mustang.
Shut up! As I was saying, styling is more convincing up the back. The taillights have a more three-dimensional look, and there's a deeper diffuser with 4 proud tailpipes, where the old car got 2. Then they stuck a big gaudy wing on the rear, exactly where the handsome and iconic coupe silhouette didn't need it. Why Ford would take a pure muscle car shape and start adding wings and vents like any old performance car is a bit of a head scratcher, but that's just my opinion. I'm going to hope things improve on the inside. Sure, there's more gala and window dressing than a shop front on Christmas Eve in here. More stitching, more buttons, and more stuff that, well, looks like it might be aluminum. But check out this digital dash. You can reconfigure it from a classic twin dial look to a cool and retro curved appearance, right through to a funky 70s inspired taco bar arrangement. So the cabin, or a cockpit, if you like to wear aviator sunnies, is a bit of a win. There's some extra softness to the touchy-feely bits, which is a bit like a band-aid on a severe trauma of El Cheapo plastics. But hey, if you want nice, go buy an Audi. Despite these optional racy-looking Recaro seats, it's still kitschy Americana on the inside. You really want every driver in your Mustang to feel like you're driving down a dark desert highway, cool wind in your hair, warm smell of colitis rising up through the air, even if you're stuck in peak hour traffic on Parramatta or Punt Road. Which is why soundtrack is so important. If you bought the old Mustang GT, chances are you've rightfully whinged about the quiet exhaust. Well, we've got some bad news for you, because this version sounds awesome. The new active valve exhaust system starts loud in normal mode and just gets bolder and more raucous in sport and track settings. There's even a quiet mode which you can pre-program to activate at certain times of the day inside the Good Neighbour feature. This isn't the same 5.0 Coyote V8 from the last car. That's because the old engine was a little under 5 litres in capacity and this new one is a bit over. It's got higher compression, freer flowing heads and, for the first time, both direct and port fuel injection. So this update makes 339 kilowatts or 450 old school horsepower, just 10% up on the old car. Better yet, it makes it all at 7,500 RPM, which makes this the highest revving Mustang GT yet produced. But where you get the real muscle is in torque. In this case, 556 newton meters, and a lot of that's down to that new dual injection system. So this new engine sharper on the throttle and just a little bit more eager to get those rear Michelins scrabbling. More muscle? You bet. This automatic has 10 speeds. Yep, 10. Because more is more, right? Remember the old power glides they used to stick in muscle cars? They had 2 speeds, fast and faster. In fact, even this transmission itself isn't convinced it needs 10 speeds. Off the mark, it keeps on wanting to skip 2nd and 4th. And by the time you're in 7th or even 8th gear, you're only doing 60 kilometers an hour. Despite the complexity, it does a smooth and assertive job of picking however many forward ratios it feels like. So that's a big thumbs up. And if you like swapping cogs with a stick, there's a new updated manual with a dual plate clutch. If you're starting to think that there's more going on here than a mere facelift, you're not alone. And Ford hasn't pulled the stumps at the powertrain either. The Mustang can now be optioned with MagneRide adaptively damped suspension. As anyone with a heavy right foot and experience in the old car might attest, it could at times bite like a rattlesnake in the corners. But fear not, this one has still got sting in its tail. The new suspension does take a little bit of the edge out of the ride comfort, but by the seat of the pants, this is still a meat-eating muscle machine. Is the updated Mustang GT a tougher unit than the old one? Most certainly. But then again, it should be, because Ford Australia has slapped an extra $5.5 grand on top of the price, and that doesn't include the Recaros, the fancy suspension, or the stripes. And besides, doesn't look any better looking the longer that you look at it.
Hey man, cool Mustang.
Look, just shut up.